This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The head of the local Anglican communion is commending government for its efforts to stem crime, but Bishop Leish Boyd says more can be done, levying some of the criticism at the feet of law enforcement agencies. Andrew Knowles reports on what else dominated the social discussion during the charge to the 112th session of the Anglican Synod last evening.
Government's crime-fighting initiatives like the Public Crime Forum and placing more boots on the ground are receiving some mention from Anglican Bishop the Right Reverend Leish Boyd. But in spite of all that has been done, Bishop Boyd believes it's still not enough, and he's admonishing law enforcement agencies to not be selective in carrying out their duties.
Law enforcement agencies know who some perpetrators are and where some things are happening. And for some reason, they are touching these people's persons. Some people who need to be persons of interest are not touched. Politics, party and organizational continue to hamper the cause of justice. Regardless of our political, racial, economic or social status, no person should be perceived to be beyond the reach of the law.
The Anglican bishop also identified a number of measures that can be adopted in helping to resolve disputes, calling for more trained arbitrators and mediators.
Perhaps justices of the peace could be empowered and encouraged to do more as keepers or facilitators of the peace, rather than simply being persons who sign documents. This is a biblical principle that we see in the scriptures. The elder sitting in the gates, resolving disputes. I strongly recommend this as it will help to relieve some of the tension in our communities.
His comments came during his charge at the opening of the 112th Synod of the Anglican Diocese Monday night at Christ Church Cathedral. Bishop Boyd also weighed in on other topical issues, including value-added tax.
I wish to urge the government of the Bahamas to move forward with caution to increase and widen education and discussion, to allay fears and concerns. And please, do not rush to any hasty formulations or to implementation.
Bishop Boyd also touched on unemployment, which remains a biting concern not only here, but in the Turks and Caicos Islands as well. He also challenged government officials to stop the petty politics, put differences aside, and work together to build the country. Andrew Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Well, after more than 6 years of volunteer labor and construction work, the multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art Bahamas Academy on Marshall Road is now 99% complete. Students, teachers, and administrators are now preparing a week of activities, which will culminate with a grand opening set for November 17th. The signature event coincides with the Seventh-day Adventist Centennial celebrations. LaDawn Davis spoke with members of the Education Board, principals, and students about the way forward.
It may have taken nearly a decade to finish, but it was worth the wait. Next month, the public will be able to tour the new multi-million-dollar Bahamas Academy campus on Marshall Road. The new edifice boasts 40 classrooms and 7 science labs, a major upgrade from the Wolf Road campus. A few stars we spoke to say they welcome the transition.
We have better grounds here. We have more places to play sports, a new basketball court and softball field, a nice place where we could play soccer.
In a more state-of-the-art and more safer environment for the younger students and for us also. Coming from the old Bahamas Academy, which is on Wolf Road, the classrooms are more enhanced. They are bigger now. We have more classrooms so that more students can fit in. We have an iPad library now where the students are free to go and use it. We have a bigger computer lab now, and the teachers now, we have our grades online.
For a century, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has provided stellar Christian education to hundreds of Bahamians. Principal Anthony Burrows is a proud product of that school. The alumnus says he is pleased to see how much the institution has grown since he was a student back in the 60s.
You can see us moving from a school of just 2 pupils to now 865, with a complement of 80 in our teaching facility, And I can only say to God be the glory. We are looking forward to great things during this week. We are inviting all of our former students, and we have a list that dates back to 1935. Individuals who have attended our institution and are still in our country and around the world making a valuable contribution. So we are
President of the South Bahamas Conference and chairman of the school board, Paul Scavella, says molding professionally successful students is one of the STA's biggest achievements.
The capacity to be able to form or help to form in the lives of the students characters that have been able to make not only the institution proud of them, but also to help to provide for our society.
On November 14th, the STA will host a centennial ball at the Sheraton Hotel under the patronage of Dr. Hugh Roach and Dr. Cheryl Roll.
Officials here at Bahamas Academy say after the official ceremony next month, they plan to establish an effective alumni association and a junior college program. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
St. Andrew's School recently held the official opening of its new hall and celebrated in grand style with a special performance by the students at the new facility. A special guest also graced the campus, British business mogul Sir Richard Branson. The president of the billion-dollar Virgin Company flew in just for the event. At the opening, there were performances by students from singing the national anthem with alumnus Angelique Sabrina. The school's orchestra, solos, drama, and other special moments also marked the occasion. ZNS News spoke with Principal Dr. Glenn Canterford, who gave details of what went into completing the new hall.
18th of August, and the guys literally worked night and day to get it done. Some of the stuff we had to import from the States. The doors were brought over from the States, and so it was a tight schedule, but they pulled it off. There's a few things behind the scenes that still got to be done. The change rooms downstairs are not quite finished and stuff like that, but on the whole, we were ready for first day of school.
Now, one of the highlights was the debut of a rearranged version of the Tubular Bells created by famous musician Mike Oldfield, a parent at St. Andrews, and played by 10th grader Jason Wren. Tubular Bells were featured in the London 2012 Olympic Games. Sir Richard, who works with Oldfield, said it was an impressive rendition of the song and a proud moment for St. Andrews.
Made the beautiful, beautiful music of Tubular Bells, and has made some other gorgeous albums since. And if it wasn't for that, as you say, we wouldn't be all going to space next year. So a lot to thank him for. So just came down tonight to celebrate that with him and have a few drinks, and come and see this wonderful school.
Bahamas Electricity Corporation officials say several units tripped offline, disrupting power in eastern and western New Providence around 5:30 yesterday evening. BEC confirmed in a press release that teams immediately began restoring power to the units and secured additional generation from units not in service at the time. Supply was restored to several areas within an hour of the initial outage, and supply was fully restored to all areas by 8:30 p.m. While the cause of the generator trip is still being investigated, BEC maintains it was an isolated incident and there are no generation issues being experienced at this time.
Well, the Governor General, Sir Arthur Folkes, received the first poppy presentation yesterday from the Girls Brigade. It marks the starting point for poppy sales throughout the country. Sir Arthur used the time to chat with members from the British Legion Bahamas branch who were also present. 100,000 poppies have been made, 70,000 of which have already been shipped off to schools around the country. First Assistant Secretary Adina Monroe says poppies are sold for $1 and the funds are used for a specific purpose.
All of you who have not gotten your poppies yet, we are advising you to come to our Blue Hill Road depot. We now have a limited supply. The prison is on its last 10,000 poppies. The proceeds of the poppy assist in the monthly stipend that we give to our registered widows and World War II veterans. We also take time this year to give a national call out to all of our World War II veterans and widows who are not registered with the British Legion. We are asking you to contact us at 422 10-4-7.
Monroe also took a little time to give us a history lesson on the popular poppy.
Since the bloodshed of all those millions of soldiers who died in World War I. And so therefore the tradition of the poppy was then forwarded on to World War II. And that is what this symbol is all about around this time of year. The poppy also signifies the donation of it really is to assist with wounded soldiers, and in our case, the elderly, sick and shut-in veterans here in the Bahamas.
Still ahead tonight, we take a look at the outlook from Exuma.
And the need for speed in the Bahamas. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Raw Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles. Fiscal architects and policymakers are preparing the Bahamas for a new paradigm in tax administration with the value-added tax as a prominent feature. The College of the Bahamas Alumni Leaders Series, a conduit for informed dialogue and debate about critical issues that impact the national development of the country, will host a roundtable discussion on VAT tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Harry C. Moore Library. Among the panelists are Minister of State for Finance, Michael Halkitis. The ALS is an initiative of the Office of Advancement and is a critical platform to bring accomplished graduates of the college with perspectives and insights on various issues together with students in an environment of information sharing and analysis. The 8th annual Exuma Business Outlook will be held at Sandals Emerald Bay in Georgetown tomorrow. The theme for this year's event is Sustainable Development for Exumas, Finding the Right Mix of People and Strategies. In addition to tourism-related issues, a major thrust of the discussion will focus on agriculture. And in international business news, thinner, lighter, faster. That's what Apple promises in its newest iPad, which also has a new name, the iPad Air. The company rolled out the 5th generation of its market-leading tablet Tuesday. Among its new features, the iPad will weigh 1 pound, down from 1.4 pounds. It's 20% thinner and 28% lighter than the current 4th generation iPad. The iPad Air will go on sale November 1st. Prices will start at $499 for a 16GB Wi-Fi only model and go up to $629 for a 16GB with 4G LTE connectivity. That was your Raw Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles.